Hello, Roxana. How are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so honored to meet you, and I see you in the chats with Dr. Barry's, community, and it's like they had Rebecca on a few weeks ago
Hmm.
when you came in the chat, and you said, "Oh, I'll come on." So thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're going to go through a little bit of the chat and say hi, and then we'll get into your story because everybody is, I've gotten to know a lot of people, meet a lot of people this way, and hearing their stories is just incredible. I just love it. So Sherry, Nevada Pup, I'm probably going to miss the live today because I had an appointment. If you're still here when I'm done, I'll pop on and say hi. All righty. Evelyn is here. B
Oh,
Rose is
Evelyn,
here.
let's see.
Yep. Katie is here. Hello, Katie. This is Lynn. Happy Friday, everyone. Hi, all. I posted my YouTube if anybody's not subscribed that pops in here. Hello, Andy. This is Andy. How was your first day? Yeah, Evelyn just she works for school, and her last day was yesterday, I believe. So she's officially on summer break. Art department. Okay, that's interesting. Hello, tribe. Happy weekend. Hello, hello. And they're saying hi to one another. Ooh, and it just popped up. Lisa, howdy, gang. I forgot today was Friday. Whoop. This is Thomas, Target Prime Rib. Hello, Cindy. This is Rick from New Hampshire. Hello, all. Jeff Foltz saying hello. This is my sister, Deb. Hello, who is actually out in my living room visiting from South Carolina, saying hi. Everybody's just saying hi to one another. So, Roxana, please tell us how you got started on your weight loss journey, why you got started, and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I tried kind of like every diet in the book. I tried calorie restriction, Weight Watchers. I tried eating carbs and fat separately, and I tried actually one extended fast when I was pretty young, but I just gained more and more weight, and at
Mm.
some point I gave up. But there was also me being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So just before that diagnosis, I gained a lot of weight, and I gained it so fast that I actually bumped into things because I wasn't used to my frame. And
Wow.
then I had to be on cortisone. I had to be on all these medications, and it just didn't make things easier. And
Right.
fast forward like 20 years, I was over 300 pounds.
Mm.
I had type 2 diabetes. I had NASH, which is inflamed fatty liver. I had GERD. I had chronic kidney disease, stage 3A.
Oh.
I was pretty sick. And
Mm.
then my sugar levels completely got out of control. And I had like a week or so of sugar levels in the high 400s, and I
Mm.
couldn't think straight. The only thing I knew was if I continue like this, I'm going to be dead in 3 years.
Wow.
So that's like almost 6 years ago. I don't know if I would have died. I have no idea. But
Mm.
that night I decided I have to do something. And the first thing I did was my son's type 1 diabetic. I bought some of his insulin. And I was already on long-acting insulin, but I didn't have any short-acting. So I bought some from office and I injected it. And I just wasn't sure. Um, Maybe I injected too much because insulin is at too much is deadly.
Yeah, my
Anyway,
husband's type 1.
yeah, okay, then
Yeah.
then you know firsthand, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit of difference really is can be um tragic, let's say it that way.
Yes.
And so I called a friend, it was like 3 a.m. or so. I called a friend in Germany. He was on his morning commute and he said, "No, it sounds about right, but don't go to sleep. Check every half hour just to be sure." And I know what to do. Like if my sugar would have went low, I would have taken a few sugar tabs.
Hmm.
And he said, like, watch Dr. Stephen Finney. And I said, okay, I'm going to look them up. Checked them out on YouTube and came across this lecture. It was 2 hours, and I watched everything. And all of a sudden, I understood why keto works, how it works, and that was going to be the solution to my problem. So that's when the next morning, I took that before picture. And in that picture, I kind of look a little, maybe come across a little smug, but it was actually me knowing now I know what to do.
Yeah,
And
and that was a picture on the thumbnail of the video of
yeah,
this live stream. So
so
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and then I asked my doctor, she said, yeah, do it. And so I did. And
Mhm.
it changed my
That's
life.
awesome. So you've corrected everything. You're not type 2 diabetic anymore,
Yeah,
right?
so I was insulin dependent type 2 with
Mhm.
an A1C of 8.5. And with
Wow.
my sugar levels going out of control, I would have been like 9 or 10 the next time I measured. But then
Mhm.
I went keto, and the next A1C was 5.6. And then the next was 5.2. And couldn't get off insulin. I just could not get off insulin. And then 6 months later, I said, like, I have to do something. No, 7 months. And then I found Dr. Jason Fung. And he
Mhm.
said, insulin is still a problem. Like, you have to get off insulin. Well, he didn't say it to me, but that's what the message.
Right,
And so I
right.
started intermittent fasting. And then I was off insulin in 2 weeks.
Nice.
It's five
Very
years
nice.
ago.
Yeah. It does a number on you. My husband was diagnosed at the age of 2.
Ooh,
He's 63 years old. He's had it for a long time. And I had bought Dr. Bernstein's book, and I was reading it because I bought it for him to read because I knew Dr. Bernstein was a type 1 and all this, and he wouldn't read it. He's not a reader per se. So I was reading parts of it, and I read to him. And I think the thing that got him started to start keto with me was a few weeks after I had started. Is that whether you're diabetic or not, the more insulin your pancreas has to produce, or you have to inject, the more harm you're doing to all the organs in your body. So even those that are not diabetic, that are eating this sad stuff, that just having to create so much insulin to offset all the sugar, and they're just doing all this harm. And it's like that was an eye opener for both ways. For my husband, is because he's on an insulin pump, and he's thinking he's invincible, eating like crazy amounts of crap
yeah,
food.
you eat carbs and then you cover them, right?
Right,
Just like your
right.
pancreas would.
So, it's like, I think that's what got him to change. And, when he started with me, his A1C was 7.9, and he's been holding steady at 6.4 as a type 1. And
Nice.
he wants to go lower. His endo is like, but he says to her, he said, if you can have a normal A1C, so can I. And he's headstrong and
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
determined. So it's great. So what about all the others, the gird and all the other stuff you mentioned?
Yeah, the GERD was, and I thought was interesting. If you have GERD, you're being put on proton pump inhibitors to keep your stomach acid low. But
Mm,
that in turn weakens the sphincter. That's the muscle that holds the stomach shut so that the acid doesn't come up. So it's a cycle. You take the medication and you can't get off it because your stomach acid is weak. This medication is only supposed to be taken short term, but
mhm.
I have been on it like, I don't know, 10 or more than 10 years.
Wow.
Losing the weight got pressure off my stomach.
Mhm.
And then eating more meat and such increased the acidity in my stomach, and that strengthened the sphincter, and that got me off proton pump inhibitor medication. So that is reversed. I still need Tums like every now and then, especially when I eat late. So that's I know that. But
So you know
so
the
that
answer, don't eat late.
yeah, right.
Right?
Today I'm gonna eat
It's
later
like
than I
something I
guess.
need to. I don't have any. I knock on wood. I don't have any gut issues. When I started keto, I never had keto flu. I never had any problems with anything, and I thank I thank God for all that because I hear some real horror stories of things that if people have gone through, and I it's just incredible what this way
Yep.
of eating does for everybody. It's amazing.
It is the proper human diet.
Hmm.
If you eat what you're
Partial,
supposed to eat, you're gonna
yep,
be better.
yeah, and I have two grown sons that I try talking to all the time, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and they're in their 40s. It's like whatever you. I've set
Yeah,
the
my kids are
example. That's
grown.
all I can do.
My kids are grown and they see the results. Actually, when I told them, why are you not eating this way? Don't you see what it did to me? Don't you see how much weight I lost? And they said, like, Mom, you were never um fat. And I said, well, yeah, I was. And then I showed them the picture and they said, oh, wow. So they really only see Mom. They didn't see the progress. But now they
Right.
know and they're still not.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's aggravating too. It's like, oh, especially if they're sick. And my sons are not well, especially my
Oh,
oldest son.
okay.
He
Yeah.
has a lot of health issues, and most everybody in the chat has heard it enough. But he has a lot of health issues, and you
I
you can
think
only
sugar
do
addiction is,
so much.
yeah, sugar addiction has people in its grip. It's so hard to get off sugar, and people rather lose their health than get off sugar. And I was
Yeah,
the same.
stubbornness kicks in there too, because
Oh,
he's
yes,
very
especially
stubborn.
when it
He's
comes to
very
you.
he's very stubborn.
Yeah.
So John is here. Just want to address Evelyn saying hello, Coach Roxana.
Hi, Evelyn.
John, good day. Karen from Low Carb Spin. Hi, Cindy and Roxana, and all in the chat. Aaron, Booby Goats, YouTube, Shakes Fist just gave me the notification. Well, we've just started about 10 minutes ago, so you're good. So, so you are one of Dr. Barry's coaches,
Hmm.
and I know, whew, I'm not a coach, but I could work for him. I could,
It's fun working for him.
I
It's
bet. I
I mean
mean,
it's volunteering. We volunteer. So
right.
but I asked him during one of the lives, and I always gave advice because I already started coaching others. I had my Facebook group, which was growing rapidly, and then I said like, he said something about moderators, and then I said like, how do I become a moderator? Or he didn't say coach at the time, and then he said, send me a message, and
Yeah.
that's how that got started. Then we met in Denver and we had a very long conversation. First, just him and me, and then Kim Howerton came too. So, and that's when we set things up. I mean, he since then other coaches joined, and before me, of course, there were other coaches too. But it's fun in the group, in the PhD group, his community. I do weekly Zoom calls,
Mm-hmm.
and after his lives, one of the coaches takes over, and then we go for another hour or two. It's That's pretty
Nice.
good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in the group, but I haven't gone to any of the Zoom calls. I haven't.
You should.
Yeah, I probably should. And she's got to pack up the car. I'll catch the replay. She is getting ready to leave for vacation. Hello, PhD friends. Hello, Denise. Hello, Goodland. 22 QCat Karen and
I love
Karen.
that picture with Dr. Berry. That's so awesome.
It's I have one. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, a little while ago. I've met him on several occasions at the meetups, like Keto Palooza. I think it was a Keto Con, but not at Hack Your Health. KetoCon before it was Hack Your Health last year. I think he was at that one, but 3 years of Keto Palooza until this year's not having
Thanks,
one.
Betsy.
So yeah, it's sad because that was a great, great event. That was just amazing. But he is amazing. And everywhere you go, you hear somebody's stories. Inevitably, Dr. Barry comes up. Well, I was
Yes.
watching Dr. Barry. I did this, Dr. Barry this, and my husband, I gotta say, at Keto Palooza 23, I think, my husband went and he asked Dr. Barry a question because he was really concerned because I mean my husband can sit down and eat a steak and his blood sugars just out of the blue will go up to 200. And that's all
Hmm.
he's eating. That's it. And he asked Dr. Barry about it because he thought he was doing something wrong. He says, no, unfortunately, that's the life of a type 1 diabetic. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes where blood sugars will just skyrocket and they'll linger before they come down. He said,
Mm.
you're not doing anything wrong. And it made my husband feel so much better about himself. And, because he's trying real hard to get that A1C down, even lower. And he was like, I'm surprised he took the time for me. And now, it was really great because he does take the time for people, and it's
He
wonderful.
does. He listens and he cares.
Yeah, you can tell, you can really
Yeah.
tell. But yeah, my sister and I, the first year we went, we had our picture taken with him. We put him in the middle of us. It
Yes.
was great. It was great. But yes, the Nancy Tanner's here saying hello. And B Rose, appreciate all you do in the group, Roxana. Betsy, hello, Betsy. Welcome, welcome. My husband has this same crazy blood sugar response, and he's type 2. It's nuts. You know, it's just nuts. But when I met my husband, his A1C was 17. It was so
Oh.
out of control. It was 20 some years ago. He had lost his previous wife to cancer a couple years before that. And
Hmm.
he was just out of control. He had a daughter that was 10 when her mother died. So he had to take care of her. He wouldn't take care of himself. And to get it down from then to 7.9 was, hey, that's okay. But the lowest he's been was 6.1, and he about had tears in his eyes on the way out of the doctor's office. He said, I never thought I'd see numbers this low.
Yeah, that's
And
an amazing accomplishment. There are groups like Type 1 Grid and Type 1 Normal on Facebook, and they advise Type 1 diabetics how to go safely down because most endocrinologists are just scared that if you have an A1C of, let's say, 5, that can only be because you have a lot of highs and a lot of lows. But actually, if you are on keto, you can have stable
right.
glucose control and actually have an A1C of 5.
Oh, yeah. I have had Paul Madow on. He's a professional beach volleyball player. He's a type 1, diagnosed later in life. And he carries an average A1C of 4.7, 4.8.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's just impressive. He was working with Dr. Bernstein's group, and
Yeah,
it was just impressive.
that's a Type 1 grid. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, Brian does good. He has more self-control than I do sometimes. He's like, I say, you want to get this? Nope. I'm like, okay, party pooper. Lisa's my
Oh,
highest
that's awesome.
A1C before keto was 9.4. Last time I tested was 4.9. That's fantastic, Lisa.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not there. Like my lowest was 5.0. The last one was 5.4, which is still fine because
yep.
I still have the inflammation, so I have to
Mhm.
be on cortisone a lot. But yeah, that's amazing.
It is
Well,
that's impressive. I was like, when I first started keto, I had asked my doctor to do an A1C check because I don't think I ever had one done. And I was almost 300 pounds, just shy of it. And I'm about 5'4".
Mhm.
And when he checked it, I had just started keto. So a couple weeks later, I go back in for the results, and I had already seen them. My A1C was 5.8. I was upset because I knew that was high. It was pre-diabetic and, all that. But I was upset with myself. And he's like, I'm not worried about you. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. So, within a couple months, it was 5.4. It has gone down to 5.1. Like you said, it lingers and steadies out at 5.4.
I
I'm
think
good.
that's fine. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. I had lost like 100 pounds within the first 22 months of keto. And
Wow.
it's been maintained for the most part, little ups and downs since
Yeah,
then.
that's mine too. I lost most of it in the first 2 years and then since then
Mhm.
maintained, even though I really want to go lower, but there are other health things going on. So,
Right. And my sister's the one that got me started on keto, the one that's in the chat. And, I tell her, I would like to get down, lose another 25 pounds or so. But if I don't, I am way healthier than I was 4.5 years ago when I started. I feel good. I'm 67 years old. I feel way better than I did in my 30s and 40s. So I'm good.
and not only healthier, probably happier too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't even imagine going back to the other lifestyle because I don't want to feel like that again. I don't want to feel
Right.
sick again.
Right. I get it. And I was, like I said, I was pre diabetic. The biggest thing for me is I was on blood pressure medicine since I was a teenager until I
Oh,
lost the
okay.
weight. 50 years of blood pressure medicine. It does a number on your body, of
Mm-hmm.
course. So, to be able to get off of that and not have to take it for the last 3 years is like, that's my biggest win. To me, that's like, whoo, the weight loss is great, but that is like huge because it was so long, it was crazy. Art department has a question. Keto 7 years, strict carnivore 4 weeks. No improvement yet and struggling to eat enough fat without diarrhea. Also have neuropathy starting again. Haven't had that since before I went keto. Thoughts?
7 years. Yeah.
To cut
Yes.
you off after so many words. It's like,
7 years is a good time. What baffles me is that the symptoms came back after being on keto.
mm,
So what I would always wonder about is carb creep, but that's of course not on carnivore. I find that when people go from keto to ketogore to carnivore, there's a good thing to ease into carnivore, but they should
mm,
never go like, well, I'm eating a sad diet, and tomorrow I start beef, butter, bacon, eggs. That's a little abrupt, and the body's not going to say, cool thing, yeah, I'm down with this. The body's just going to say, no, I don't like this. And
mm.
but so neuropathy can actually mild neuropathy can be reversed on keto. On carnivore, it's I would look into other lifestyle things. If the diet is dialed in, there might be a problem with sleep, there might be a problem with stress, there might be a problem with not exercising, and these are like the three big ones next to diet.
Now, what about
Mm,
electrolytes? Could that affect it? Not having, if
the
you're
diarrhea
not doing
when not eating enough.
electrolytes?
Yeah. So the electrolytes, if you're low on electrolytes, you would get dizzy, you would have cramps, and that wasn't mentioned. It was mentioned if I eat too
Right.
much fat.
Neuropathy. Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah. So if
Diarrhea,
I would wonder about a gallbladder being there or the gallbladder being sluggish, but it shouldn't be after 7 years on keto if it's still there.
neuropathy. It's hard to say. It's so hard to answer the questions because everybody reacts so differently to everything. everybody's body reacts differently. So
I would start a journal and see what food does what. If it's, for
right.
example, dairy fat that's causing the issue, then it's maybe not the fat, but the dairy. If it's pork fat that's causing the issue, it's maybe the pork and not the fat. I would do a diary and journal all the reactions to all the foods, if it's really the fat, or if it's certain foods that trigger it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Humans, the proper human diet is a spectrum, so it's okay to go carnivore if you can tolerate it. If you can't, then by all means eat vegetables. We are
Mm-hmm.
hyper carnivores, which means between 0 and 30% comes from plants. And some people are on this side of the spectrum where they eat zero plants, and others are on this side of the spectrum where they eat up to 30% from plants, and everyone else is in between, and like
Right.
even 31%.
And there's nothing wrong with either way that you go. It's all, like you said, it's all in the proper human diet spectrum. Rick
Yeah,
said,
it's
my,
probably genetically determined what you should eat, but it's somewhere in that spectrum.
Rick says, my glucose in the hospital, he just had problems with his gallbladder. It was 82, 102, 105. One nurse wanted to give me insulin. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's like
I
Lisa
mean,
said. That's crazy.
not only that glucose isn't bad, but why even start with insulin?
Right, that's just nuts. Fire department. I tried carnivore for a short time. It didn't work for me. Long story. I'm back to keto. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, one nurse said my glucose was better than hers. My
Yeah,
doctor
if you
tells me all
think
the time my blood works better than hers. And I'm like, what does that tell you?
exactly, if you think about it, most people have at least one metabolic marker off.
Mhm.
So that includes nurses and doctors. Or like
Yep.
Dr. Berry says, chicks and dudes.
Yes, I love when he does that. He's funny. Art department. I did have Carb Creek for a while before carnivore.
It depends a bit like what carbs and how many. Like a little bit of carb creeps shouldn't, yeah, shouldn't have that effect. But the thing is with diarrhea, it takes about half a year to get adjusted to a full carnivore diet. And you can shock the gut microbiome into reacting with diarrhea if you just completely leave out plants. It's not going to be happy. And some people react very um, poorly, and others just can just do it. So
Just, that's
I
why
would just
that's where
diet.
I was going with. Sorry about that. That's what I was saying. Everybody's body reacts differently to however you eat. Things you might like. Nothing bothers me, and I can take that as a blessing or a curse because nothing bothers me. And it's
Yep.
like, and then there are those that are so sensitive to everything that And you mentioned beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I'm doing that starting in June with a group of other YouTubers, and I've done it once before. And I'm telling you, that was probably, it wasn't hard, but very confining because I love cheese. It's like,
I can't eat dairy anymore.
oh God. But
Oh,
see,
it
when I,
seems like it at least.
right, I did it for 31 days in 2022, the last time I did it. And I have never given up my Diet Pepsi. Don't tell Dr. Berry that because everybody knows it.
Okay.
But I did for that month. And that I missed that and I missed cheese. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then there was the chicken and the pork and all this stuff that you can't
Oh,
have.
chicken wings, lemon
And I'm
pepper chicken
like,
wings.
God. But we're starting June 1st. And I'm like, I can do this. I've done it before. I can do it. You know, it's all right.
Yeah, what I love about beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, it's a perfect elimination diet. So you're eliminating most things. Butter is dairy, but it's very low in milk solids. So
Right.
you will know when you then add back cheese, you will have a reaction. And if you
Oh,
don't, then by all means, eat cheese. If you don't have a
that's what I'm
reaction to
saying.
broccoli, eat it. If you
Yep.
do, don't.
Don't eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
also,
like,
if you're eliminating these things for a long time, like
mhm,
not just a month, but longer, and then add vegetables back, you could have a reaction. But that's again from the gut microbiome not wanting to adjust and having to
right.
adjust.
Well, I eat very few vegetables, occasional salad, some green beans on occasion. My thing is, I love meat. I love eggs. It's like all kinds of meats is fine. I love cheese. Keto chow is my thing,
Do you want to
and
know a
it's like,
recipe with keto chow?
what another recipe? Always.
Yes. So you have like 10 boiled eggs, 2 cups of water, and 2 servings of keto chow. And you can take any flavor, let's say red licorice or black licorice or Irish cream, any of those, and put them in a blender and blend it until there are no egg bits left. And then put it in the fridge. And an hour later, you have the best pudding, whatever flavor you add.
Now I know Maria Emmerich makes her egg pudding, and I have never tried it with hard boiled eggs. And I have
It
like,
is. It is amazing. Okay, I find it amazing. I find it so good that I don't have a craving to eat chocolate. So that's pretty fantastic for me.
yeah, I've got a bad sweet tooth, so I would probably have to make a chocolate flavor.
Yeah, it's all these every flavor, black licorice, mocha,
Yeah, they don't have
lemon
that
meringue.
anymore.
Lemon meringue, that's the best.
Lemon meringue. You see, you
Hmm
said 10 eggs and two
10
servings of
eggs,
keto chow, and what else?
2 cups of water.
2 cups of water. All right.
And what I
I,
do to chill it faster is I add ice to the water. So it's mostly ice and then water. And then I put that through my Blendtec blender. And like it's really powerful. It runs for 30 seconds and then sometimes I add another 30 seconds and scrape uh the thing.
I got it
Is
written
that-
down.
Oh, awesome. Let me know how it is. Let me know how it is.
I will try it. I've been really it about trying hard boiled egg pudding because I love eggs. I could
And
do,
it's healthy.
oh, let me tell you, I could do a 7-day egg fast without blinking an eye. I love eggs. It
Mhm.
does not matter. I love meat. I'm good. But the keto chow has got me. And I was really bad with Chalk Zero. And I haven't gotten any more for a long time.
I can't
Quit
buy it
mine.
because I can't put it down.
Oh, it's
Same,
so good.
there's other keto treats I just can't put down. So when I have a keto
Yep.
treat, I have to make it myself because that gives me enough distance or
Right.
effort to actually do it.
Right. Right. Now, Jerry Griggs, carnivore Jerry in the middle of the forest, she had me making something. She sent me a keto brick. And I hate those things. The
Oh, I love them.
texture on them.
Uh, I can't
Oh,
I can't put them down. That's my problem. I can't put
okay.
them down.
Here's what she did. She used 6 eggs, 6 ounces of cream cheese, and a keto brick in the blender. Put
Yeah,
it
that
in
would taste.
muffin cups, 350 degrees in the oven for like 20 minutes or until they're done through. And that's it.
The,
You want to
eating
add
dairy.
sweetener, whatever. I am not a keto brick fan. I don't like the texture of them, whether it's pea protein, the whey protein, the tallow. Ugh.
There's one I like specifically. They come out with it in fall. It's nah, I forgot something.
Oh, there's so many of them.
Yeah. But like if so I don't eat dairy anymore. I tried not to eat dairy more by accident. I hadn't eaten any dairy and then I thought I'm just going to continue it and that's what was good for my inflammation, like
Right.
really good. But with cottage cheese, you can do a lot too. Like 2 cups cottage cheese, then add like chocolate powder, some sweetener, or 2 cups of cottage cheese, 2 cups of frozen raspberries, those through the blender. The best. It's like ice cream, or 2 cups of frozen any berries, like frozen strawberries, frozen
Strawberries is my
raspberries.
thing.
Yeah. But thing is, I can't do cottage cheese anymore. Not for the moment, at least. Like once I have the inflammation under control, I'm gonna try cottage cheese again, and then if I react, then I know I can't have it.
Right, right.
I
That's
saw you
how you
writing
do
it
it
down.
because, yep. So art department says yes, stress and sleep for sure. Plenty of electrolytes. Good. Still has her gallbladder, or him,
Yeah,
his or her. I don't know. Doing journal, no dairy, beef and fat and bacon.
yeah, that's good.
And then Erin's asking if she can eat eggs. Try brewing a cup of very strong black tea. Take a sip, see if you feel better. Taking a large amount of electrolytes could give you bathroom problems as well.
It depends.
Ooh.
Like when you make them yourself and you use magnesium citrate, that can absolutely make you go like clean you right out.
Mm-hmm.
I have a recipe on my website, and it asks for 2 tablespoons of magnesium, and I was using magnesium citrate. I didn't know then, and I accidentally added 2 tablespoons instead of 2 teaspoons, and obviously, like I had to go to the washroom right away. And then I thought, oh no, diarrhea, so I have to drink more. And I made another batch. It took me a week to clue in.
Yep. Magnesium can be a, yeah.
Yeah, magnesium glycinate should be good.
Yeah, that's what I take at night before I go to bed. Interesting. Thank you so hard to get it figured out. It is, and it's hard to give advice because like we said, everybody is so different in how their bodies react to different things. The journal
hmm
is the best idea because if you write down what you're eating and then if you have any reaction, you
Yeah, you're
know.
you're being your own detective. You're
Mhm.
just trying to figure it out, and all you need to do is get the data.
Yep. Just her asking why the insulin. Yeah, that was crazy. I watch cars too. My grandsons. Good night, Rick. Thank you. Have a good time with your grandsons. Hard boiled eggs, back off on the fat a little bit. Ooh, no.
No, no, no,
That's
no,
on
no.
Rick's
Actually,
side.
where I draw the line. I put an egg in my coffee, by the way.
Mhm. I love eggs. That's
Perfect
crazy.
creamer, especially when you can't have dairy.
Mhm. Nancy says, yes, Cindy, you can do this. Not me, LL, but go for it. Talking about beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I'm doing BBB in June. Goodbye, heavy whipping cream. You pretty much do it anyway, Aaron, without the dairy. I mean, with dairy, but yeah. So, yep, she's going to do it with us. I'm afraid to try keto chow might trigger cravings. I, you know, the way I feel about it, first of all, I am an affiliate. I got to say it right up front, but I love Chris and Miriam. I really love the product. It's, the vitamins and minerals in there that you need on a daily basis are in there. I mean, everything. It's got everything you need. And it's like so very low carb that what's, you know, I
They're actually pretty
can't say
cool.
enough
They
about it.
they put the recipe for keto chow on their website so you can actually do it yourself. Like you
Mhm.
can gather all. I wouldn't because it's just too much work. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they're pretty cool. But if you're afraid of cravings, that is a very valid point not to
Mhm.
try it.
Right. I, it helps, you know, for me, because I have such a sweet tooth. If I can have keto chow, it's going to stop me from going to the store and getting a Hershey bar. So if I can solve my cravings that way, I'm doing way better than if I go to the store and get a candy bar.
I
Big
am a
time.
sugar addict,
Mhm.
and these egg puddings keep me from eating chocolate. So I actually have all the ingredients to make my own chocolate. I have cacao butter, I have cocoa powder, milk powder, which I'm not going to use. I also have coconut milk powder, and I could make chocolate tonight, but I'm not feeling it. I don't know. It's very weird.
Well,
I don't have the
where
craving.
you live, and the next time you make some, I'm coming over.
Yeah. How about sour gummies?
I've got, I am making electrolyte gummies with salty. And yeah, I'm going to make them. I've made them before with element, but I'm going to switch and make them with salty. And they're good. They're really
Oh,
good.
the cherry flavor is like, wow.
Yeah. I have the cherry chill. Have you tried the blue slushy yet?
No.
That's a new one. It is ridiculously good. It's like,
Okay. Now I
yes,
know what to order.
yes. Use my link.
I have a link too. But actually, I can't
Oh,
use
okay.
mine, so
Well,
I'm gonna
use your
use
own link.
yours. Yeah, no. I can't use. Can I use mine? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yes, you can. I use mine all the time.
Okay.
Definitely
I've never
use your own link.
because I can't use my Amazon links. But neat.
It's good. Blue slushy. And right now they also have, I'm plugging Keto Chow here. They have a new Keto Chow flavor, red raspberry, which is absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's such a good raspberry flavor. And they have a test on salty. Instead of them testing the product and putting it right up or denying it, they're sending it out or selling it as a test market for people to try it. There's a QR code on the packet that you scan and you answer these questions on what you thought of it. So it's pretty cool the way they're doing it. So once
Yeah,
you
I
scan the
like them.
QR code, it tells you what the flavor is. So I am not saying that, but it's good too. Just saying.
Interesting.
And I'm
Yeah.
not an big electrolyte fan, but these are really good.
I kind of need them a little bit. If I don't, I did that once, intermittent fasting. No, actually alternate day fasting every other day.
Mhm.
And a week in, I almost passed out.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, I know. So I had to not just sit down, I had to lie down, not to pass out. And then after 5 minutes or so, I took my blood pressure and was really low, like the upper number was 90.
mm,
But so I don't use them though as much as in the beginning. In the beginning, I had 2 or 3 elements a day, and
mm,
now I have them like every other day, element or salty. I use both.
yeah. I have both. And, my husband uses them periodically. Neither one of us do it every day, use it every day. But the
No,
gummies
and
are
not
really
everyone
good.
needs electrolytes. Some do, some don't.
Well, I get leg cramps if I don't, if for a
Yeah,
period of
then you
time.
need them.
But I'll tell you what, and this stuff is amazing for people that get cramps, to get leg cramps or even joints in your fingers. I have had it so bad, and my husband did while we were on vacation last beginning of the month. I have taken the powder and put it in my hand and licked it off, and it instantly gets rid of the cramps.
Interesting. I never tried
I'm
that.
like, oh, it did for me. And my husband and I, we had gone to Florida, and we were in a restaurant. We were just sat down, and his legs both cramped up at the same time. He just sat back and was so stiff. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" He says, "Nope, my legs are both cramped and they hurt." I grabbed a pack of salty out of my purse. I said, I opened it. I said, "Put some on your hand and lick it off of there. And then put some more on and keep doing until you find relief." And it was in no time. he got up when he could, because at that point he couldn't even stand. It hurt so bad. The
Mm.
powder directly, amazing. Doesn't taste the greatest, but it helps. I mean, it did us, and it's amazing. It's crazy how that works. But yeah, if you're really in a bind, and I know there's a spray magnesium that if you get cramps, like during the night, if you get a cramp, you get that spray and spray your muscle. It takes it away right away. And I've never tried that, but I've heard about it. And it's like, that's nice.
Yeah,
That
you
would
don't
be
even
nice
have
to
to
have on hand.
eat it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting. So Evelyn, tomorrow there's a meetup in Indiana. She's making keto chow mounds fudge. I'm glad I'm not starting beef, butter, bacon, and eggs till the first. So Betsy's asking me, do you eat 2 to 3 meats on your plate when you do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs? I do better with 2 meats at a meal. I usually do 2 meals a day anyway, as a rule. When I'm doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, it's usually either a 1 pound ribeye or a 1 pound New York strip or several burgers or a little bit less than that and eggs at every meal. Each meal, not say every meal, each meal, because I only eat twice a day. So yeah, it's either a lot of meat. It's not 2 different ones. It's either a lot of meat or a little bit less meat with eggs. And the eggs are always cooked in butter. And then I just pour the leftover butter over top of the steak and the eggs, and it's good.
Leftover butter? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mhm. The excess in the skillet. I don't put
Yes, 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 yes.
extra. I don't just take pats of butter and put it extra. So whatever, like tablespoons of butter in the skillet. Because when I cook eggs, I cook 6 of them, 3 for me and 3 for my husband. And then whatever butter is left over in the skillet, I just pour it over whatever instead of dumping
Mm.
it. Hi, Nancy. What was the recipe again, Coach? For the pudding, Lisa? I've got it. I got it. 10 eggs, 2 servings of keto chow, and 2 cups of water in the blender till there's no more egg pieces, and then in the refrigerator. How'd I do?
Fantastic. And the thing is, I mean, you can have the recipe. This is what I do, and it works for me. Like I eat it the same day, the next, and the day after. And longer, I wouldn't want to keep it anyway. So that's what works for me. You could also do 5 eggs, 1 serving of keto chow, and 1 cup of water.
Now this is interesting. This is an interesting thought here. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Chocolate core is beef.
Okay.
So I can have that on beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Yeah.
Or equip. I have that too. That's all beef protein. So
Yeah, I never tried that.
happy Friday, Cindy and Coach Roxana. Thank you, Dustin, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. And Dustin's here. Everybody saying hi. If you couldn't guess, I'm driving home from Costco. This man is at the store more than I have. I don't even care to go to the store.
Costco
It
has
seems
some
like
pretty
he's
sweet
always
deals.
there. Do what?
Costco has some pretty sweet deals.
Oh
They have a
yeah.
lot of actually good quality food.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I get
I
my
found
chicken
one
wings.
that shouldn't have found at Costco. I just I went to Costco today too. I love that seltzer water sale. Which one? Which brand? And then art department. What is your name? I know your name is not art department. I make my electrolytes using element recipe. Use magnesium glycinate.
That's the best kind of magnesium.
Well, the recipe I have for electrolyte gummies is 3 packs of electrolytes, whether it's element or salty, 5 tablespoons of gelatin, and water. That's it. And I use beef gelatin.
If you use half water and half heavy cream, it's gonna taste better.
Oh no, no dairy. You just
No, not me. I can't anymore. But I made that recipe instead of using element. I used freeze-dried strawberry powder or freeze-dried blueberry powder, and then I mix that in for the flavor, the gelatin, and then half water, half cream. Yum.
wow, woman.
I
People
have
used
all
to
those recipes
suggest
on my website.
diarrhea. I don't know if they still do that. Aaron says people used to suggest eat hard cheese to help control the diarrhea. I don't know if they still do that. I would. I've never heard that. But I would think if cheese is going to give you diarrhea, it ain't going to matter whether it's hard cheese or not. The only difference maybe is if you buy the pre-shredded because of the added ingredients that's in it.
The
So I don't
sawdust.
know. I don't know. What was that?
The sawdust. They
The
put
sawdust?
sawdust in so it doesn't
Sawdust.
stick together. Yeah.
Poached eggs and homemade hollandaise sauce is currently a favorite for me. I have
Oh wow.
never eaten poached eggs. Never. They always look good, but I've never cooked them. I've never eaten them. I made Maria's egg pudding once, too eggy for me. See, that's
It is
where,
it is interesting. So if you eat it with the mindset, this is going to taste like eggs, it will taste like eggs. If it's sometimes the sulfate in the sulfate that you taste. So if you can use instead of using boiled eggs, you can use scrambled eggs and butter. You're just gonna make sure that they're not burnt because or brown, because if they do, then they won't blend. But you
yeah,
can
two
use
crazy
scrambled eggs
ketos.
instead of
Joe and
boiled eggs.
Rachel, they put a video up when they made egg pudding, but they used lightly scrambled eggs that were just
Yeah,
lightly scrambled. Yeah, I
yeah.
I
I
tried
find it
that.
too
I really
bothersome.
didn't like it that way. Lisa, what recipe you looking for? My coach just told us she makes. I think you've got it now. And Jerry's was 6 eggs, 6 ounces of cream cheese, and a keto brick, the whole brick in the blender. If you want it a little sweeter, you add a little sweetener. She put it in muffin cups, like the silicone muffin cups, and baked it at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes till it's done, till they're done. And yeah, if you like keto brick, I've
I
made
do too
some.
much.
She had sent me one of the primal fudge with the tallow, and I made some. They're in the refrigerator. My husband likes them, so he likes keto brick. I usually melt one down into little pucks for him, and because he would never just sit there and take a bite of one or eat off of the brick. Carb addict. The gummies sound good. I've never tried making those before. They are really good, Lynn. And I was already asked to please do a video of making them by one of my subscribers. I'm like, okay. Yep, gummies are good. Let's get crazy and make them, Lisa. Cindy will show us. I'm doing a video, probably Monday. I'll do it and put it up. My blood pressure goes too low on carnivore. I have to take electrolytes. Wow.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. And mind you, my doctor wanted to put me on blood pressure medication to protect my kidneys because of the chronic kidney disease.
Yeah.
And then that resolved, and I don't have high blood pressure.
No. It's like my husband being a type 1 diabetic, they want to do all this preventive care for them,
Hmm.
like statins, blood pressure medicine, all of this garbage. And he had been on it for years. And, I'm at my computer. His is right next to me over here. And I watch the videos in the mornings, and he'll, whether it's Dr. Barry or whoever, and he heard Dr. Barry talk about statins so many times, and he's like, "Why am I taking these?" I said, "I don't know. Your lipid panel is good. There's nothing wrong with it." He says, "All right, I'm not taking them," and he just quit. And that's, he's been fine. And they had him on blood pressure medicine. He'd get up in the morning really dizzy. I'm like, "Dude, you don't need it. Your blood pressure is always way better than mine, and mine's been good." I'm like, so when he went to his endo the next time, he said, "I'm not taking this anymore, and I'm not going to take these anymore." He said, she said to him, she says, "The Diabetic Association is not behind that, because as a type 1 diabetic, it's preventive care." Now, him and I both take a low dose aspirin, and that's fine. I have a very extremely high CAC score. It's off the charts. And I attribute that to all those years on blood pressure medication and high blood pressure and battling that for many,
Mm.
many years. And Brian, he's okay with that. He said, "That's fine, whatever." But she now tells him, "I wish more of my patients were like you." She doesn't argue with him anymore. She knows that, she says, your A1C is just so steady.
Yeah.
He wants it to go lower, but it's way better than it was. And he feels good overall. I mean, he also has cervical dystonia, which is a movement disorder, symptoms similar to Parkinson's. That is
Hmm.
a progressive thing. He's had deep brain stimulation surgery for. And, it controls movement a lot,
Hmm.
and that's been a blessing. I don't know if you know anything about that, but it's been a blessing for him. And it's just incredible.
If you
But
look
he's
at it,
doing
what they can do, the medical field is amazing.
it.
Like for epileptics, they can do a similar surgery. It is amazing. I heard someone say, "I'm never again going to the doctor for health, but I will go to the doctor if I break my arm, if I need surgery, blah, blah, blah. For that, I will go to the doctor. But
Right.
for health advice, no, never."
So my doctor was bringing me in every 3 months just for a wellness check. And every time she would do blood
It's
work,
kind of
every
like
3 weeks,
expensive, right?
oh, I don't care. I don't care. It wasn't costing me anything. Medicare can pay for that. I don't care. So then she says, every time the blood work comes back, she looks at me, she says, "Yours is better than mine."
Hmm.
She says, "I don't think we need to do it this time. Let's do 6 months instead of 3 months." So now I don't have to go back until July. And that last time I saw her was January. She says, "You're fine." I said, "And if I'm not, I'll come and see you, you
That's
know?
right.
So I'm like, I'm good. But she's awesome. I love her. She's an APRN, and she's just amazing. So, and she listens, and it's like, it's all good. I just laugh at her when she tells me that my blood works better than hers. And I'm like, what does that tell you? Maybe you should change things.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's funny.
Maybe you should give her a copy of Dr. Barry's book. Lies my doctor
Oh,
told me.
I've told her I would. Thomas, I actually wrote an email to Dr. Barry and his group about my story. No expectations, just wanted him to know since he was the first doctor I would watch. Got a response from Coach Alyssa, very kind. Yeah, I'm trying to get him to come on here too. They are busier than one armed paper hangers.
If you can catch him at a conference, you can set it up, and he will say yes, and then he won't back out of that. He's been on my channel too, and he's pretty good that way.
I've tried, and I was
Yeah, you
told
have to catch him in
to
person.
get hold of Alyssa. So I did that too. And they said, well, he's booked. And, and then I heard she was out with it, having a baby and was being referred to Nisha. And yeah, I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. John, Colorado. Good early evening from Colorado Springs. Well, hello, hello, hello.
Yeah,
This
John
is
comes to my
Charlie.
life from the Dr. Berry community too.
Yep, that's where they're coming from. I'm gonna put
Yes,
my
yeah, I just posted it in the Dr. Berry community about half an hour before we went live. Every Thursday in the Dr. Berry community, I do a live. It's a Zoom live, so it's not on YouTube, but you can actually we talk to each other. It's pretty cool.
nice, nice. This is Charlie, Darth Carnivore. Love that Costco delivers. Hate going there in person. Now, I have a real problem for myself, with the exception of during COVID. I don't want anybody else picking out my food. I
Yeah,
don't. I see these people when I'm in the stores just grabbing anything and throwing it in these buckets for people. And they're not looking at it. They're not trying to find the best, that you would do for yourself. I can't. I can't do it. The Croy 649 for 24 pack. All right. Thank you so much. And I'm Kitty Marie. Thank you. Have to change my YouTube name to that. I love that name.
oh, there's one kitty in the Dr. Berry community. And Dr. Berry, when he calls on her in the pro Zoom, he says, "Hello, kitty." And he said, "Oh no, I said hello, kitty again."
Hello, Kitty. Well, that's cute. Dustin and I, Keto Simple and I, we have a list of people's YouTube names and their actual names. So
I would need that too because I'm bad with that.
I'm telling you, yeah. When I
I
started
I
my,
can do faces, but names.
I'm really bad with names. This is helping me, But Betsy is saying hi to John. When I started my YouTube channel, I reached out to Steve from Serious Keto. I asked him a question. I said, I just started my channel. I'm thinking about changing the name of it because it's obviously just my name, and YouTube added some numbers at the end. And he said, don't put yourself in a corner, secure a Google domain. And then I forget what the third one was. But those stuck out. So I didn't change it because he said, don't put yourself in a corner like I did with his Serious Keto
And
channel
not his
name.
name.
Instead of anything without keto, ketovore, carnivore thing. Because he said with that
Okay.
keto, you put yourself in a corner and everybody's going to expect that all the time. But that was one advice he gave me. I said, all right, I'm leaving it as it is. Because this way I
That's
can
good
do whatever
advice.
I want with my channel.
Yeah. On on YouTube, I have that. I have it. I think it's called Coach Roxana. But
Mhm.
on my website, it's called Kendo-Keto. And that really puts me in a corner. And now I don't even like the name anymore. So I'm thinking of rebranding. I already redid the website, but yeah, I'm not sure now. So yeah,
Yeah, but
keto is a
that was
corner.
probably the best advice he could have given me because I see how when people go in that have keto in their name or something and they go off onto something else and then they get all this hate comments because you're supposed to be keto. Da, 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 da. I'm like,
I
see,
got hate comments for trying an oatmeal fast. And I
I
wasn't even doing it because like for some crazy reasons, like a sugar fast. That's like crazy. But I learned about it at a keto seminar in Austria, and they talked about it, and there was some good evidence behind it. I tried it for I think 5 days or so, 4 days, and I had cool results. Um, it was still low carb. I was still in ketosis. So anyway, yeah, but people told me I was hurting people, and yeah, they get upset, very upset.
oh yeah, it's like and I've said. all along since I started these lives. I can't tolerate the negativity within the community. Either
Mm,
way, either end of the spectrum. I don't care if you're low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore. If you want to try this so-called sugar diet, the hyperketosis diet, whatever you're doing, the way I look at it is like there's one person I know, and she was just mentioned in the next comment. She's doing this fruit diet, sugar diet, whatever, with whole foods. She's not eating the candy that these people had brought up and all
yeah.
that. She's eating fruit and vegetables and meats, and that kind of thing. But she has gone through a big thing of curing herself. She had SIBO. She had real bad problems with her iron, and she has cured all that. And now she's trying something else. If it works for her, who are we to say anything bad about it? You know,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
thing is to find what works for us and keep going, right? To better our health. And she has
Yeah.
done that. She did that homework big
That
time.
oatmeal fast was really met with a lot of negativity, even
I
from
bet.
like keto celebrities. And Dr. Berry was the only one who said, "Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more." The other said, and I'm not going to name names, but
Yeah.
one said, "Well, that's your sugar addiction coming back." And no, like oatmeal is not sugar addiction. And I never was addicted to oatmeal, anyways. That was interesting that it was even by the big names in the keto world. They thought it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of dogmatism in this community, and I can't do it. There's so much garbage going on in this world.
Yeah.
This community is, and I say it so often, this community is the best community overall that I have ever belonged to. Whether it's keto, ketovore, carnivore, I don't care. I've had all people from all spectrums on my live streams. They know if I have a carnivore on it, they know I'm not carnivore. And but I'm good. I have I have come so far, you know, being keto or ketovore, enjoying the Chalk Zero when I was, enjoying the keto chow to keep my sweet tooth at bay, and
And
that's what it takes for me.
And there's another thing, when people come to this community, like newbies,
Mm,
we don't need to overwhelm them with what all they have to do correctly, like the keto police. We don't have to do that. When I started keto, all I actually did was no grains, no sugar, no high carb fruit, or actually no fruit whatsoever in the beginning, no high carb vegetables. That was it. I had all the Costco keto treats. I had a keto chocolate mug in a cake in a mug every day,
mm,
topped with heavy whipping cream. I had all that, and first that one certainly didn't destroy my health, but it
mhm,
helped me get on a path where I then would say, "Oh, vegetable oils, that's a thing. Maybe I should not have them. Oh,
mm.
too many almonds, that's a thing. Maybe I shouldn't have those." And every like step of the way I improved my diet and I clamped it down more. But to expect that of a newbie is just
It's
everyone needs to
horrible.
find their way.
Right. I mean, I told you my sister got me started on keto. She had researched
Mm,
all these diets and she found keto. Her daughter had just been diagnosed with non alcoholic fatty liver disease.
mm,
And this was back in 2020. They had started in June. And her and I, we have two other sisters, and we have a sister chat that goes on. So my sister Deb, she kept telling us, oh, we should try keto. We should do this. We should do this. We should all do this together. For 3 months, I listened to this and read these comments and like, oh my. So I looked at my husband. I said, I'm just going to do this just to shut her up.
they wore you down. Good on
And
them.
I tell you, I thank her all the time because she
Hmm.
saved my life, basically. I
Yeah.
was almost 300 pounds. I wasn't doing well. And I mean, I felt okay, but movement wasn't great. You know, when you're that heavy, it's like, eh, and I tell people all the time 22 months, 100-pound loss, did not exercise a lick.
Yep.
But the reason for that is I had to get better and get the energy so that I could get out there and take those walks and join the
Exactly.
gym if I wanted to or do anything else. I had to fix myself first. So these people that think, oh, you got to go to the gym, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you don't. You have to correct what you're putting in your body first and foremost. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like
And it
that
doesn't even
was
have to be
the
perfect when
main
you
thing.
start out.
No, but see, that was the thing. When for me, when I make up my mind to do something, it's all or nothing. So I went full force, headstrong, 20 total carbs or less every day for 90 days before I touched any keto treats, before I made any sweet things keto, anything. 90 days without anything. And I'm like, I can do it. I don't want to do it like this anymore. But I
Yeah.
did it. And it's like, I tell people, you got to get your mind in the right place. And then it'll all be working for you. It'll all be sustainable. It will all fall in place for you. Getting your head, getting your mindset right is key. You know, the determination and the mindset and having a good motivator. And everybody talks about and finding the good why you want to do this. That was
That's
everything.
the basic that's a basic question of more coaching is motivational interviewing, where you
Mhm.
say, someone says, well, I want to lose weight. And then the next question is like, why? Why is that important to you? And then
Yep.
they say, well, I want to play with my grandkids. Okay, why is that important to you? What do you
Mhm.
enjoy about playing with your grandkids? And so this why is intrinsic motivation. That's the motivation that everyone needs to find within themselves, and it is there. And then the coach basically uncovers that.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm like, but that's where it was for me. I went full force, and I know not everybody could do that, or not everybody would do that.
No,
You know,
I certainly
because it
didn't.
was.
I mean, I stuck also to the 20 grams of carbs because that was keto. But I certainly did the dirty keto right from
Mm-hmm.
the get-go.
Yep.
And do you know what I did for electrolytes? Gatorade Zero. I didn't know any better. So I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't recommend that to anyone do, but it worked for me. I didn't have the keto flu.
Right. I didn't do. I'll tell you what. I This is why I was really lucky. I never did electrolytes. Never had the keto flu, and I went full force. Like I said, straight through. Never had any of that. I was like, I was so lucky because I
Yep,
hear
yep,
so
that
many
is
people
definitely
got
lucky.
so sick, and it's like, ah. And then I tell them it's not going to last. Just hang with it. You'll be fine.
Yep.
I use Indigo Neely's gummy jar recipe. She did it with Element, but I will use either that or salty. I think that's whose recipe this is, with just the water and the gelatin and the powder. I think that's whose it is. Brenda Foley is here, if she's still here. Maritza, hello. Sawdust talk about a fiber overload.
Yep.
you know,
If it says cellulose on the ingredients list, that's usually sawdust.
Mhm. I never tried the egg pudding with hard boiled eggs, but the scrambled eggs never taste like eggs to me. Not at all. Interesting. See, I
Yeah, it's
tried
the
it with the scrambled
sulfur
eggs.
or
I
so
didn't.
flavor.
Yeah. Hello,
Actually,
Brenda.
Chris from Keto Chow told me that to try the scrambled eggs instead.
Hmm. Yes, I did try it, like I said, with the scrambled eggs. And I didn't care for it. I will try it the other way with the keto chow. Okay? Yeah. Chocolate keto chow, chocolate pudding. Yeah. I'm sad the guinea pig won't be there tomorrow. My husband, he's my taste tester. And when I do cook somebody else's recipe or I create one, which is very rare and all that. And the first time he did it, he said, I'm her guinea pig. And man, it has stuck. And he's just funny. He's such a great guy. He can't go tomorrow. He's staying here with our dog because he's old and we couldn't get anybody to come and take him out or while we're gone, and we can't take him with us. So he's staying here. Rissa, I'm glad to see you. I was thinking about you. I had not seen you in a bit. You're right. I have not either. Missed the Roxana live yesterday playing 9 holes of golf, walking almost 10,000 steps. Well,
Yeah, that's definitely
that's
worth it.
impressive.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, we talked about golf after the Dr. Berry live too.
Mhm. I enjoy going to Costco, Dustin says. You have at it. I'm bad with names too and good with faces. Yep. I'm right there with you. Grocery shopping is my time away from home. And Thomas, I know what your name is. He's going to be on next Friday.
Oh, neat.
I haven't been to Costco in quite a while. I miss going there. You can't get out of there for less than $300-400 half the time.
Okay, that was Kitty then. Mhm.
Do what?
That was, did you read the next comment?
Yes, that's me. He said, hello, Kitty, both times. I was able to join the Zoom call. And I just said, hello, Kitty. That's cool. That's funny. Carnivore, Thomas. It's a very, very, I've been keeping it updated, Dustin. You may not be, but I have been when I learned somebody's name. Seeing you tomorrow, Charlie. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. You can remove those numbers, I'm pretty sure. I don't care about the numbers. It's all right. I'm used to them now. Peggy Kintner. I've never heard of Hoplark before. Me neither. And I saw the comment. I didn't read it. I've never heard of it either. Have you?
Nope.
That's what I always say. It doesn't matter to me who's trying it. To me, it matters to who's selling it and why. Yep. Valerie Scott. Hi, I'm new to carnivore. I have to say that for the very first time, I have no desire for sugar. Been keto for years, but I always cheated with cookies.
I think that's interesting because when you go completely carnivore without any sweeteners, that's when the cravings stop. And I know that because I've experienced that a few times, but
I did that the first time with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
yeah,
I did not drink my soda. I didn't have anything with sweeteners, and I didn't miss it. I mean, I missed drinking the diet soda, but I didn't have those cravings for it.
yeah.
So there's something
I
to that.
I used to drink a lot of Diet Pop, and now I use my Soda Stream, add
Mhm.
an element, and
Yeah.
like in a cup like this, like a big cup, and
Oh yeah, I have to.
it tastes like store-bought soda.
I have one of my blender cups. These are electrolytes that I've been drinking for like a few days now. The same
Hmm.
one, not just the same cup, the same mixture.
Hmm.
A comment of, oh, that's just your sugar addiction coming through drives me up a wall. It's nice that people are becoming aware that the food you eat affects your health. Everyone has their own journey to find what works for them. You
Yep.
are so right. Welcome, Valerie. Yes, welcome, welcome. Oh, he said Valori. I got it, got it, got it. Way to go, Valerie Scott. I'm glad you were able to break through. Yes, you can. Deb, for me, being in your life too. You can thank Deb for me. She should be listening. She's out in the other room waiting for me. Was based out of Boulder, Hoplar, now out of East Coast. Gotcha. And Kitty Marie, have to run. Y'all have a nice evening and weekend. She changed her name just like that.
That's awesome. Kitty, you can join my live on Thursdays, and actually I have another live on Tuesdays, but that's not in the Dr. Barry community, that's on my Patreon.
Nice. Have a great night. Thank you both. Have a good weekend, all. And Lynn is saying bye to Kitty. If anybody has any more questions, if you could put them in the chat. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. I'll say that right off the bat. I want to
This is
thank
fun.
all of my members also for being there for me. And I can't even tell you how much I appreciate everybody. Because I never thought that I would be where I'm at now when I started my channel. I was like, yeah, whatever, I've been wanting to do it, but it's like, yeah, and it's not big, but it's good. And I have some great people, and it's just wonderful. And I'm getting to meet great people like yourself and so many others I've had on here. It's just so much fun. Thank you, ladies. Good talk. That's my sister. She's the one that got me going.
You can
But
blame her.
anyway, I'm sorry.
You can blame her.
I blame
But
her. I thank her. It's like I owe her a lot. And yes, Thomas, I will see you next week. Thank you so much for your knowledge and time. Yes, Roxana, thank you so much. It's a bust to call you all friends, exactly, or family, extended family. Somebody asked me.
honestly, I think it is like family.
Mhm. Somebody asked me the other day, what do you call your subscribers, your group, like Dr. Barry's tribe, Chris Cooking Nashville, it's his band. I said, it's family. It's just family, you know, that's it. Because there aren't any other people that care so much about most of them that care so much about one another, like you should your family. And it's just impressive. And I'm a big sap, so it's all good.
And the people I get to know in the community, some become tight friends, like
Mhm.
better friends than local people.
Yep,
So it's
I have met probably 85 to 90% of the people in the chat, and way more people than that are not in the chat from going to the events, the conventions, the local meetups, and I have not met anyone that I wouldn't call my friend. They're just great. I haven't come across anybody much. Now, there are some people I would not ask to come on my channel because I don't agree with what they stand for.
Mhm.
But overall, I would say 95% of the people that I have come in contact with are just the best. And, it makes this, for me, a lot of fun, knowledgeable. You gain so much listening to people's stories and what they've been through and, how much they've accomplished, that it's like this way of eating it just amazes me that there's so much that good that comes out of it, whether it's personally or with my husband or like your story and everybody else's that I've heard. It's just incredible.
Nothing really surprises me anymore.
Right? It's insane. It says that I'm back. That didn't work watching the movie with the grandsons. They wouldn't sit still or be quiet. Of course not. They're kids, Rick. But I'm glad you're back. But we are on our way out because it's been an hour and a half. and I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate so much you coming on, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and everyone in the chat for spending their Friday night with us, because God knows we could be doing something else on a Friday night.
Yeah. No,
But
but it's fun. I'll be back.
I appreciate that because it's been great. But everyone in the chat, I will see you on Wednesday with Brian. I will be back next Friday with Thomas. After that, my Fridays are open. Dustin, you said you wanted to come back. You got to give me a date. Give me a Friday and I'll put you in. Anyhow, you all have a great night. If you want to hang on a second, Roxana,
Oh, well.
everybody have a great night, and I will see you on Wednesday.